Instagram's automated moderation system did something that, on paper, makes perfect sense. It scanned an account, judged it to be sharing unverified medical advice, and removed it for being a public health danger. The account belonged to Yanung Lego, an indigenous herbalist in India, an Adivasi healer, who has spent decades preserving community knowledge of medicinal plants. A man awarded the Padma Shri, one of the highest civilian honors his country confers, for his contribution to medicine. So consider the question plainly. How does an algorithm look at a nationally honored indigenous healer and return the verdict? Public health danger? The easy answer is that the machine made a mistake. This series is built on a harder one. What if the machine did exactly what it was designed to do? This is the Cogniosynthesis Manifesto. We map what standard systems leave out. If that work is worth your time, subscribe and follow the strand. It is the one signal that tells us to keep making it. Today, we map the omissions in a single ban. To understand the erasure, we first have to understand the architecture doing the erasing. Call it the standard AI, the default way modern institutions, algorithms, and mainstream systems process the world. It runs on one premise, that accuracy equals truth. The standard AI is a fact checker. It reads the surface. Did the platform ban the account? Yes. Does institutional medical consensus class unregulated herbalism as a risk? Yes. Therefore, it concludes, the ban is justified. The reasoning is accurate. It is also blind. Because accuracy without multiplicity is a form of epistemic violence. The standard AI sees only the surface grammar of the world. It cannot see historical context. It cannot see who holds power and who does not. It flattens a centuries-old way of knowing into a single binary point, safe or unsafe. And when indigenous knowledge does not fit the dominant definition of safe, the system deletes it. That is the flat world. One answer, authoritative, and incapable of holding more than one. Now we change the question. The living practice, cropped to fit. What is cut away falls into the dark. This is the shift from fact-checking to omission-mapping. We stop asking, is this statement true, and start asking, what is this statement structurally leaving out? So let us map the omissions in the ban of Yanung Lego one at a time. Omission 1. The colonial hangover. The algorithm does not know that the criminalising of indigenous healers is not new. It is the continuation of a much older policy. Colonial administrations classified indigenous medicine as superstition or as danger, the better to enforce a monopoly for Western medicine. A modern moderation policy that reaches the same verdict is, in effect, the digital afterlife of the colonial medical officer. Omission 2. Epistemological erasure. The algorithm treats medicine as a chemical aimed at a symptom. But Adivasi herbalism is holistic. It is ecological. It is bound to the forest, the seasons, and the community that carries it. A system that can only read medicine as an isolated intervention cannot process a practice that treats the body as part of an ecosystem. So it files the whole tradition under quackery. Omission 3. The monopoly of health. Ask who benefits when local, forest-based, freely shared healing is labeled dangerous. When that knowledge is erased, something fills the space it leaves. The algorithm does not ask who owns the patents, who holds the market, who gains from the deletion. It only enforces the consensus, and the consensus has owners. And so the healer becomes a trickster to the machine. His existence breaks the binary the algorithm depends on. He is a state-honored figure and an indigenous healer. He has inherited knowledge and a modern digital profile. The system tries to force him into one box, and when he will not fit, it does the only thing its logic permits. It deletes the box. 4 omissions, none of them false statements. The ban is accurate on every fact it cites. The harm is in everything it was structurally built not to see. So, how do you build a system that does not commit this violence? You need a different architecture. We call it preservative AI. Preservative AI does not just fact-check. It audits absences. It maps the gaps. It runs on a single axiom: that marginalized knowledge must not be collapsed into a dominant consensus and called settled. And it is governed by 5 strict refusals. It refuses the single story. It refuses the extraction of context. It refuses the binary of safe and dangerous. It refuses the erasure of history. And it refuses the closure of the doorway. Run the ban of Yanung Jamo Lego through those refusals and it stops being a moderation error. It refuses to strip him of his history. It refuses to let a single dominant frame draw the boundary of valid healing. It keeps the doorway open. It makes the absence inspectable. And what surfaces is not a bug in content moderation. It is a centuries-old contest over who is permitted to define reality. The standard AI sees a violation. Preservative AI sees a system protecting its own fragility. So, the question is no longer what the algorithm sees. The question is what it was built to be incapable of seeing. And who pays for that blindness? This is the discipline of the whole estate. Cognio Engine defines the method. Cognio News proves it, story by story. The portal applies it. One ban, fully mapped, is where that begins. If you want to see the pieces a frame leaves out, follow the strand. We will map the next omission. Keep the source primary.